AI won't come and sit down and say, but what do you want?
It looks like accountants can read minds, because I was literally going to ask you about AI in the next moment.
Oh,
yeah. So there's another hidden talent here. I'm like, wait. She talks about accountants are boring. There goes my stereotype that I wanted to confront her with, and then she can make it all look sexy and amazing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I make your dreams happen, and I snoop around in your data. You know.
Honestly, like,
so yeah, how about
accounting is sexy. It's got a image problem, but it pays really
clean,
well.
Hello, Tsarina, Dellow. Welcome to the Human CV. And I'm super glad that you have you here. You are a morning person, I'm not, and the sun has just risen, so we need some coffee to get into this episode.
We do. It's funny about winter. The sun rises quite late, so it's not as early as you're making out.
Yeah, that's true. So if there's any time to become a morning person, it would be now, a couple of days after winter solstice. So
absolutely.
I'm actually getting up a few times for sunrise to watch it at the beach, because we live so close to it, and so do you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I've got you here because you're a wonderful person, first and foremost. We met at a Te Reo class, the native language of the New Zealand Maori people. And how's Te Reo going for you?
It's going really well. I'm up to level 2 now, which is exciting. It's been really interesting with the language. You sort of, there's a lot of words for family relationships and, the different words for time even, the different words for the different parts of sunrise. And I'm finding it really interesting to figure out what's important culturally because of the amount of words and the amount of descriptors for those things, whereas in English we just have kind of sunrise and dawn. I can't remember them now, but there's words for almost dawn, when the sun just kind of breaks through, when it's becoming light, and then when it's fully light, which is really cool.
We should. I did not make it as far in my Te Reo to catch that one. Wow. I wonder why they started doing those different levels, whether in some of those extra slivers of sunrise, it was best to hunt this one bird or to catch this one fish.
Or like I'll meet you just before the sun comes up so we can go and do this thing, or I'll meet you when it's fully light, because you can't say 8:10 or something.
Yeah, they didn't have any of these who say this minute and that second.
Yeah. So it's been really interesting, the different ways to describe time.
Yeah.
So I'm not super great with time in English, so it's been cool to learn, the names of the seasons and the months and all of that kind of thing. So that's wicked.
That's cool. In my world, time is quite a thing, because I always find you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So once I heard that, it just blew my mind.
Yes.
And I get really fussy about who do I spend time with, what do I spend it on, and I get really antsy if I waste time. It's very weird to me, so maybe I should speak more Te Reo and become even more aware of it.
Yeah, I talk to my clients about that a lot. In terms of like why, so they're all self-employed, right? Like, why are you doing this? Yes, you can make more money, but do you want to make more money, or do you want to take Wednesdays off and go to school assembly or whatever it is? Like, what's the purpose? Money's great, but you can't buy time. You are allotted an amount. You don't know how much that is.
True.
And if you're wasting it, you might not actually have as much as you think. So you need to be conscious about it.
Yeah. That's so true. Was there ever a time in your life where you felt, it's finite, I gotta,
always, forever. Bucket list. Always, I always feel like that. I hate wasting time. I hate being that silent retreat you were just talking about earlier. Like, that feels like, I need to do things. I need to rush. And I think maybe part of the walking the Te Araroa, the space and the time. Was interesting there, because you don't have anything to do all day. You can't bucket list, you can't squeeze things in, you just walk all day.
There has to be also a lot of preparation, right? So how much of the Te Araroa would you have encountered? Or
I started in Bluff and I walked to Arthur's Pass.
Wow,
So
that's a lot.
Yeah, so I don't know, 3/4 of the South Island,
And
probably.
pretty much all of it was uphill.
Wow.
But Bluff is at sea level, and then Arthur's Pass.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it did
beautiful.
go uphill.
Yeah.
I thought you were thinking like south to north. Like it's like, no, that's not how the world works.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of preparation, and I think the preparation that I did for that was mainly telling people I was going to do it, and then using that social pressure to like, oh well, I'm doing it now, because it would have been easy. It's not easy to take a month out of life to just go and do something else out of cell phone reception and out of, especially being self-employed. You can't just, well, you can, but it takes some preparation to say, I will not be available for this time.
Yeah. And how did it go with, like, I imagine because you walk through very remote terrain, you have to pre-plan all the meals. Like sometimes you have to have like a week's worth of food with you.
Yeah.
Because you can't refill in in between, right? Or how does it work?
Yeah, so luckily it was over Christmas time, and I had friends travelling to holiday sort of down south. So I had organised, given them bags of food to take to pick up. But in the beginning I was much, much slower than I anticipated. So then I ended up bringing a food drop forward, and then I became much, much faster than anticipated. Okay. So at the start I sort of didn't have enough food, and then I very rapidly became carrying too much food, and I didn't want to put it down because you don't know when it's coming back again. So that was really interesting, and the sort of relationship with the things that you carry is becomes quite, like, the things become important to you, right?
Yeah, true.
And also, if they're not important, why are you carrying them?
Yes,
you know?
yeah.
And talking to other people about what they're carrying and why, because that is the chat at night. Like, what are you eating? What are you carrying? What are you sleeping on? That's all the gossip all anyone wants to know. Where have you come from? What was it like?
Yeah.
But yeah, just the chat. I met a man carrying a hammer. Lots of people. Yeah, I know. Because in the North Island, apparently there's not as many rocks. I don't know. But to put his tent pegs in, it's really important to him that process goes smoothly and that there's always the right tool for the job.
I would probably take a thermos, like a metal thermos, also. Oh, it's too heavy.
Well, it's not as heavy as a hammer. Yeah. Okay. So it's just different things are important to different people, and he's carrying it, so it's nothing to do with me. Like, I can't tell him he's right or wrong. It's true. But yeah, and just what's important to people and what they eat. Yeah. If people want to carry heavier things so that they can eat better, or, you know, if warmth's really important, it just really narrows it down to what, in fact, is essential to you in the moment.
So if I wanted to eat really good healthy foods and sleep very warm, I shouldn't walk that trail.
Well, you should get very strong so you can carry a whole bunch of stuff.
That's the trick. See? Okay, yes. There's always one variable that I should work on.
Yeah, so there's people eating fresh food all of the time.
Oh, wow.
But then that takes them, it's heavier, so it takes them longer to walk from place to place.
Sure.
And then when they get to a town, they have to, or they get out, they have to go to a town, restock with fresh food, so it just takes longer. True. And that's fine. It's just, you know, that compromise of this is important, so then I'll sacrifice speed, or I'll sacrifice lightness, or...
There's always a trade-off in life.
Yes, there is, always.
Yeah. I wonder, like, you must have learned so much about yourself in those 4 weeks, or in this 1 month that you walked it.
Yeah.
At the end of your walking time, what did you realize was for you the most important? Was it, hey, I want to have, you know, the best food, or really want to be super cozy at night? Like, what were your priorities? What did you learn?
I really enjoyed the times when I walked with people.
Right.
Because they're strangers, right? So you come and go. You sometimes meet people again, but mostly you just meet them at night. And then some of the times when I walked with people, it was really nice, and you discuss everything. It's the first day I walked from Bluff to Invercargill with a man, and we discussed our entire life histories, like everything, things that he's like, I haven't told anyone that before. And then I never saw him again, you know? That was really cool. So, like, companionship and deep conversation is important to me. And also just moving my body, and our country is so beautiful. There's so many cool things to see and do. I really valued that chance to go and see epic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like the warmth and the food wasn't super important to me, but the going cool places with nice people was important.
It's funny how they turned from strangers, like that man in Bluff,
Yeah.
to almost BFFs. Just because of the shared experience of we're doing something difficult together here. We're walking this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I just met him on the bus and we just had like a little chat and got off at the same place. Like, we should walk together.
Who knows where he is now?
Yeah.
So if you see this, hi. She's here.
I'm here.
And her contact details are at the end of the episode. This is so good. What a story. Yeah, I think I would prioritize my packing stuff for warmth. I love warmth. So in some of the places that you've been hiking to, it would get very cold overnight.
Yeah, like frosty mornings, even though it was in January, you know, like because you get up high, it gets cold up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll walk one part of it, maybe not the whole thing, because I think it takes 3 months to do the whole thing.
If you're fast,
if you're fast, so it can.
Some people take 6 months to do it.
Wow. Okay.
And some people do it just like a little bit. Maybe they'll do 2 weeks, and then they'll come back next year, do 2 more weeks, and so they can take 5 years to do it, or you know, however long you want, you can do as much or as little.
Yeah, that's a good idea. When I had a look at your human CV that you completed, the first half, or the first third, I would say, is all about numbers and percentages and choosing from different goals, right? So it's really interesting to me when I looked at the INTJ, who's a very strategic, logical, independent thinker. And the J at the end means that you like to plan and you like to organize, or at least you like to have, you know, your calendar and your time mapped out.
Absolutely.
Did that help you when it comes to to walking that trail? Like, in what way did that play out?
Yeah, so I planned it really. I thought that I could walk a certain distance a day, and then that's how much food I would need, and all of that. That wasn't the case. I got really bad blisters at the start, so I thought I could walk about 20 kilometres a day, which I definitely can, but at the start I couldn't. My blisters were too bad, the terrain was awful, there was this really terribly muddy bit that it was terrible, so really, really slow, so my planning did not come true. And then later on, when I got fitter and my blisters healed, then I could walk longer, like I did some 35, 40k days, so planning's great and I love doing it, but life doesn't always come out like that. And very interestingly, and I've never felt this before, when I got back into the real world, my sense of time was not there. I couldn't, like if someone said on Tuesday, I just couldn't figure out what that meant, sort of, because in my brain, I sort of have it mapped out a little bit. It was like that was gone. And so all the time I had to be looking at my calendar and be like, okay, now it's this time and this is what's happening next. It was the weirdest feeling.
That's random. So when you're on the trail, how does your time perception play out there? Is it like I'm walking on, it's day 13 of my walk, or how do you count time there?
I had a little diary that I diaried every day, but time doesn't matter, because
kilometers matter, right? Or
weather, where are you sleeping tonight kind of matters. But I had a tent, so if I didn't get to the place where I intended to sleep, then I could just sleep somewhere else. So it's very much that now and in the immediate future kind of matters, but there's no like, I don't know, I've got washing in the machine and I'll hang it out and then I need to, there's none of that, no tasks that carry on. You're either, like right now, you're either cooking or walking or sleeping or sitting around. There's no need for time.
I've never considered that because I clearly haven't walked such a long hike.
Yeah, I had never considered it either. And it is the thing I like about overnight hikes and things, that there's no chores that carry on to the next day or sort of that mental load of things that need to happen. That goes away because once you get out of cell phone range, right, you're not thinking, oh, I need to reply to that email. It's just gone. Yeah, so I really like that, but it was bumpy getting back into the real world, especially since I just sort of had to leave ended, back to work, back to life. I was like, whoa. And if I did it again, I would have not done it like that. I would have gone back to half days or a day on and a day off.
Easing into it.
Easing into it. But it's not how I roll.
You said a term that just jumped out at me because I heard it so much in connection with some of your passion topics or the sustainable goals, sustainable development goals that you chose are number 4 and number 5. So quality education and gender equality. And then when it comes about what could you talk about for a while, you said I can talk about the wealth gap for women until I'm blue in the face. It's so vital that we catch up on the education expectations of women to their male counterparts. And you just said the one word that jumped out, that was my mental load was not there.
Oh, yeah.
The washing and the kids and the lunchboxes and you know. I've heard it so many times that there is a much bigger stressor in the traditional role model, you know, the wife does, the woman does the homework, the children care and all of that. And I heard that many women are extremely fatigued because of that extra mental load that they carry. And I think that will also translate into the job world.
Yeah, definitely. I find that the women that I speak to feel like they need to do more to be the same.
Right.
You know, they need to perform at 120% to get that, and it's to do with the pay gap and things as well, just to be at that same level because, you know, terms like I saw a lady doctor or that sort of thing where they just have to be that much better to earn that same status as their male colleagues. Yeah,
wow. It's like maybe when we have this mental load that goes on in the home life, when, like, let's say a typical, stereotypical question, Mom, what's for dinner?
Yeah.
You know, and then she cannot be fully present at the office or at the factory or wherever she plans to do her work because there's always that background noise of, oh, you know, I need to select what I want to cook, think about what do I have at home to make that happen, think about getting the groceries that I need additionally,
and
you know.
Pick the dog up from the vet and have we got a present for the birthday party on the weekend or, you know, all of that.
So much mental load is on women.
Yeah, and I am not in a situation like that, so, but I really feel for people who are, and the expectation is high on women, and I think it takes some bravery to just say, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. This could open a whole can of worms if we talk about feminism now.
Yeah, exactly.
This early? Can I continue? Yeah. So there are some people who, of course, it's great that women can work and can vote and all these things, and yet there haven't been these equality things in other areas of society that came with that. And it's very sad because now we're dealing with this massive pay gap or guilt feelings or higher numbers of cancer in women for certain cancers that are related to these inner guilt feelings from what I heard. So there's lots going on that could turn us into a Joe Rogan podcast.
Yes, exactly.
So can we touch on that or do we go back to your series?
What is... that I can do something about, I guess, in terms of feminism and inequalities in the world. You know, not just for women, but for all the people that are not finding it equally generous as other people might. The wealth gap. So women have much lower KiwiSaver balances than men, and that is because of a variety of factors, but we can change that by sort of educating them on how to invest. Women make much better investors than men. Because they are more cautious and the way to win at investing is not to play the game, it's just to put money in and leave it there. And women will do that. Whereas, and massive generalisation, men often will muck about with it a little bit more. The most successful class of investor is dead people. Like when a big investment company went through and looked and saw who's doing really well, these class of people are doing really well, who are they? Oh, they're all deceased and we need to wind up their estates. But they're not mucking around with it, they're not touching it, they're not looking at it, they're just leaving it there because...
I should just act like a dead person.
You should, yeah. So we can educate women about how to invest, how to budget, how to create a gap between their income and their outgoings so that they have security and emergency funds. And I'm really passionate about emergency funds because I believe that everyone, not just women, should have a set of money aside for emergencies. So if you have a terrible boss or you get in a relationship that is a little bit untidy, you can just leave those situations. And I find that makes it so that you don't have to leave those situations because you have the confidence to say, actually, that's not okay. If you do that again, I will leave, and that stops situations from getting worse. So I really am passionate about educating women and making the world a little bit fairer through that.
And one conversation at a time. When you speak about things like this and someone watches this, they may have not considered looking into money topics, but they might be in a weird, situation at work that they do not enjoy, or a relationship that's unstable, like you said, and maybe this conversation makes them go, oh, I really should get my act together and look into some of those. So 2 questions. What would you recommend the size of the emergency fund to be? And then I would probably segue into the book that you recommended as well, the Barefoot Investor.
I guess if you started with $1,000 and just had that sitting there, so that's enough for a little bit, and then keep that aside. If that's going okay, then start ramping it up. And what you want ideally is 3 months worth of expenses.
3 months.
So not of income, so if you pretended that you lost your job tomorrow, you'd probably cancel your Spotify and all of that kind of thing. So not those nice to haves, 3 months of actually just living somewhere and eating and driving your car, the
basics.
The basics. So if you can put that aside, that is amazing, and that will protect you from all sorts of life's bumps and
gives a bit of peace of mind in that 3 months time to either search for a new job or unravel the relationship that was going bad or whatever it was.
Yeah, and it might be that you only need 2 weeks or a month, and then so you don't have to go down to that bare bones kind of living, but you just having it there can make people sleep a bit better at night.
Yeah.
But having said that, get your $1,000, and then if you have expensive debt, pay that off first, and then get your big emergency fund, because you've got to look to the long term as well.
Absolutely. And when you talked about the book that influenced you, you put also a finance book down, and one was Atomic Habits, which is not finance related, but good habits make for good finances.
Yeah,
so we can
absolutely.
touch on that one too. And I love that one. I haven't read Barefoot Investor. What is the core message? Is it the same, like act like a dead person? Buy and hold?
It's about money management more than about actually investing. So he's an Australian guy who I can't exactly remember his name right now, but he... their house burnt down in a bushfire, and they got this massive big fat insurance check, and they went to go to Briscoe's or whatever to buy new appliances and things, and then he's like, wait, what do we, let's start from scratch. What do we want in our lives? So he talks a lot about knowing what your income is, knowing what your expenses are. There's a formula for splitting out your money. So you have your income, and then you have like what you want to spend, which is called your splurge money, your coffees, your nice to haves, your Spotify subscription, whatever, and then your what it takes to run your household. So that money, and then the leftover is for first paying off debt and having that emergency fund, and then starting to invest with. But he also talks a lot about a monthly finance meeting with people that live in your home, or the people who your finances impact. So you actually sit down and say, this is what we plan to do this month, and this is actually what we did do. Do we need to change the plan? Are we doing well? How's it going? And just putting sunlight on your finances rather than keeping them sort of dark and shadowy and not discussed and in the open. And then you can keep each other accountable, and you can have goals together so everyone's moving in the same direction.
I like that. Oh,
and it's just a really simple book. It's in ordinary terms. It's not a finance book. It's for anyone, and it's very, very interesting and really, really simple, really easy to implement what he discusses, and it works. Yeah.
It's good to be, making this knowledge palatable and easy to understand for people. And I like the term you just used, putting sunlight on the finances. These sort of visuals stick with me because my brain works in pictures, So when did you discover that finance would be what you want to do. Is that a recent thing? Have you been in the financial world for a long time? Like, how did it happen?
I lived in Hamner Springs, which is quite rural, and I was working in hospitality, so I was working nights, I was working weekends. The pay wasn't great. The conditions sometimes were not awesome either.
Yeah.
And so I had come back from my OE. I was like, okay, I need to study something, but I didn't want to move because I loved living there. It's such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
So I looked at what you could study by distance and what would stop me from working nights and weekends, and I went, oh, an accounting degree. I did accounting at school, and that seemed fine. I'll do that.
Wow.
And I'm the sort of person, when I decide a thing, I just do it.
Yeah.
So I was working and just getting up early in the morning, doing some study, going to work, and eventually chugged through and got my degree, got a job in accounting. And I actually, accounting kind of has a little bit of a bad rap, but
Why?
people think
Can we
accountants
just
are
erase-
boring, and I don't know, that it's not an interesting career, but it's been an amazing career for me. So interesting. You get to talk to people about all sorts of things, their goals and their dreams and what's important in their life, and you get to be real nosy, see where people spend all their money. Like, oh, I haven't heard of that restaurant before. Give it a wee Google. Oh, that looks nice. Might go there. But it's, and as I go through my career, at the start it's a lot about money and data entry and that sort of thing. But now it's all about talking and planning and reviewing things and talking about people's values and goals and how they want to live their lives. So it's kind of gone away from what you think an accountant does all day. And also AI will come and do that number stuff.
Yeah.
AI won't come and sit down and say, but what do you want?
It looks like accountants can read minds, because I was literally going to ask you about AI in the next moment.
Oh,
yeah, so there's another hidden talent here. I'm like, wait, she talks about accountants are boring. There goes my stereotype that I wanted to confront her with, and then she can make it all look sexy and amazing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I make your dreams happen, and I snoop around in your data,
Honestly, like,
so yeah, how about
accounting is sexy. It's got a image problem, but it pays really
cleaning it
well.
up.
You don't work bad hours, and when it's raining outside, you're inside and it's warm. And it's a good career. I like it.
Yeah, and I can't help but noticing as well, there was a pattern between when you talked earlier about the Te Araroa Trail and really having a serious look at what is in my backpack, what do I truly need, what is important to me. And then when you spoke about the Barefoot Investor, it was the same. Do we really need those appliances? Do we really need to spend on the Spotify subscription? I love Spotify, but that would be a must-have.
But like if you've got Spotify and Apple Music, some people have like all of the subscriptions. Which ones bring you joy? Every time you spend money, is it joyful?
Yeah.
Oh, and like some things are not joyful, like going to the dentist, but having non-sore teeth, that's joyful, right?
Exactly. So, the joy is the health or the beauty or whatever people want to have.
Yeah. So if are you spending money on things that actually are not essential and also don't bring you joy? And if so, like, just stop doing it.
You're too logical for this. Come on. What about the feelings?
The feelings is joy. If it's joyful, do it. Like if people put themselves on a budget and don't buy nice coffee, for example, but that's really important to them, then that's not going to last. But if they, I don't know, if there's something else that they're doing that, I don't know, maybe they're driving everywhere and they could ride their bike a little bit more and save some petrol and then afford the coffee,
and get fitter.
Yeah,
get
like
more
what's
oxygen
important
in
to you, and just do the things that are important.
Yeah. How do you make decisions? Like, do you weigh long-term benefits over short-term pleasures? Are you have you got this sort of self-control and the willpower, or do you say, now if I constantly delay my pleasure, I will, rebel out at some stage. I will just go off the trail, what's it called? Off the reels, I think.
Off the rails,
Off the rails, not trails, not reels, rails.
I don't know.
Yeah, do you plan little rewards? Like Atomic Habits
always.
is so good at actually showing people the psychology of behavioral change, So
I always have little rewards. I'm I'm a toddler inside. If you do this, oh my goodness, my flatmate came home one day and I had this piece of paper out on the bench, and I had the list of things that I needed to do. And beside each of the things, I had a little square of chocolate.
I love
like
that.
you do this, you get the chocolate. Go and do the next thing.
It's
come
better
back.
than me just ticking off stuff. I should have tiny chocolates.
Yeah, I do. I don't like sending tax letters out, and so I do it for the tax letters as well. Send a tax letter, have a chocolate.
This is great.
It is. So I tend to be impulsive with my decision making, but in my this actually has to be done, then I do use treats for myself.
This is so good.
And usually it's chocolate.
I love that we met. You're the most non-boring accountant I've ever met.
That's my aim.
So after this conversation, so many people are going to go for the accounting industry. I swear you'll just see a spike happening.
Good. We need more accountants. We need different accountants, women, people from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
More boobs, less bald heads as well. We need
Oh my God.
younger people.
Yeah. Go back on the topic of AI then. So if the boringness of accounting can soon be done by programs, machines, software, will you become more of a dream maker for people?
Oh, yeah, I love that. Yes, definitely. Because, I don't know, the boring stuff, it doesn't bring anyone joy, right? Nobody wants to pay me to do the numbers stuff.
The data entry.
And
sheets.
I don't want to do it. So AI is perfect for that. It's going to take that bit away, and it will need guidance. At least for now, it definitely does need guidance. But hopefully eventually you can just look at it and tweak a little, and then you'll have the numbers. There's already Henry, which is good for now for some people, but that sort of thing will start getting better and better. So that's not something for me to hang my career on, right?
Yeah.
If I'm like, you'll have the best numbers that I can make, great, but that's not going to be forever. But what we can do is look at the numbers and look at maybe the tax legislation or how you want to live your life and go, actually, we've got this, let's change it so that AI can't really do the future.
True.
It can only do
data
what's
processing
happened.
or predicting, yes. But
Yeah.
not necessarily guiding a person the same way you can speak to them and really say, well, what do you actually want to do with that money,
Yeah. Do you want the money? Do you want the time? Is it important to you to drive a fancy car or go on holidays or have that time, or what can we do to make that happen as well?
Yeah, that's a good point. For the international viewers who don't know what Henry is, can you give a little explainer, like what it does or who's it for?
It's an accounting software, and it basically takes your bank transactions and figures out kind of what they're for, and then so you pay your money into their bank account, and then it takes what it thinks your tax will be out of that money, so you never have your tax money.
Right.
Which is very, very useful for some people.
Handy for impulsive people
Yes,
or non-planners.
Yes, exactly. At the moment, it's not quite there, and that it's not how I would do it. It's not, So, and it's only for sole traders, so not for companies or anything.
Right.
But there is a subset of people that it's very handy for, and it will just get better and better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you might, of course, you see a lot of people's bank accounts and statements and all that. What is some of the most weird or unusual purchases you see people make? Because I used to work in government and social welfare, so we also had to look at bank accounts.
Yeah.
For are you eligible for this? And I'm like, what is he spending on when he's on the dole? You must have the same moment.
Yeah. Oh, I can't think of any right now, but the patterns over time. So we get your bank statement, we sort it, and just the amount of information that comes out with us, every time you go to McDonald's, or
you see a pattern of a person.
Yeah, you definitely do, and then you can see what's important to someone by actually where their money and their time is going by just clicking the sorts in different ways for their transactions for the year. And obviously they shouldn't have personal transactions through their business account, but everyone does. Yeah. And so you can sort of see it that way, but just so when you do spend personally through your business account, it goes to your drawings. So, and then you need to super simplify this, but you've got a loan from the company for that money, and then you need to pay that back. And then so you get allocated income to pay that back to make it square, and you pay tax on that. So sometimes what happens is we allocate the income to pay off the loan, and people go, but I didn't spend any money in the business account. I never do that. And then you look and it's like, I don't know, $6 at Countdown. It's like, you're buying a V and a pie every day, you know.
So they use the business card for that accidentally or whatever.
Yeah, or they just sort of don't pay attention to it of like, you know, you're I don't know what, you're just spending fritter all the time, and then over a year it really does add up. So it's not necessarily outrageous transactions, but that people aren't conscious of what's happening, and then as it adds up, it's shocking to them.
Yeah. Interesting. What is some like frivolous frittering that you are secretly or not so secretly doing? Where are your guilty pleasure spending? Where is that?
Like socks and running shoes.
Socks and running shoes. And the little chocolates for your to-do list.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes. I brought some little toe socks the other day for running in.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Not that I run, but toe socks are great.
Yeah, okay. And some like really foot balm to like so that my feet are slippery and don't get blisters. Yeah.
Amazing. It's the little luxuries that make the actual, like, you're running so much more joyful. Because I think after you started the Tsarina Trail and suffered all these blister moments, you were like, this will no longer happen to me. I gotta become a blister expert.
Yeah, exactly. I spent so much money on blister plasters while I was on the TA, like those fancy ones that come in the hard plastic.
I've never seen them. I barely have blisters because I clearly don't do these brutal things. So after all testing, trying, and a lot of pain, what is your best blister treatment tip or prevention?
Those little blister pads from the supermarket. They're amazing.
So you put them on when you have one, but how do you prevent them?
Oh, I don't know. Don't have wet feet and run long distances, I guess, would be my goal. Have nice, clean shoes and socks.
Yay.
Yeah, don't let sand. I live at the beach, so I run on the beach all the time, and the sand is really bad for blisters. I don't know.
Would make
They're
it
just
very
a fact
soft,
of life.
You know, you exfoliate your feet the whole
you don't
day.
want soft feet, right? If you want hard, toughened feet.
It's like, I'm a runner. No, you're not. I'm a runner. No, exfoliate. So cool. I did not think this topic would come up today. This is amazing. Okay. What is something when you did the human CV where you went, oh, that's an interesting one, or maybe you haven't heard of these VIA strengths before, and you're like, oh, that's an interesting one that just came up.
Yeah, I love that zest is a strength. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like to be zesty, so that's fun. Yeah, those were nice. They're sort of more the VIA strengths. They're more abstract, I guess, than just logical, independent. We kind of know what that means, but curiosity and gratitude and love and zest. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. How would you, it's really funny actually, because usually as an INTJ, which is already a bit funny that you have the I, which stands for introvert. So it came out when you did this test that you are more of an introvert. And I don't know the percentages here. So you could be 51% introvert, right?
Okay,
so you could just be on the cusp, and then it gave you an I rather than an E for extrovert. But when it came to the Big 5 test, you have quite high score on extraversion, and it would also tie in with the zestiness. Not saying an introvert can't be zesty, but in general, it displays more in an extroverted fashion. So when you go through your normal week, are you more bubbly and chatty and extrovert, or where does the introvert come from? Like, is it when you sit down and you do all the numbers and the logical stuff? Like, how do you normally show up?
I think over time I'm becoming more extroverted. I'm getting more energy from other people, whereas before as I am getting older, that's happening.
Yeah.
But my week is split up in a way that I have people days and no people days.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask you next about this. Nice.
Yeah. So when I go to the office, I have people days. I deal with staff. I deal with customers and all sorts of things, and I stack it up. I do my networking, and so then I find I don't have to change gear.
Yeah.
And then when I have my working from home days, I just sit and do the work, the numbers bits, the analysis, and try not to take phone calls, try not to book anything in. So then, because I do find that changing gear quite difficult, of being calm and analytical to outgoing and people focused.
Yeah.
So I find I can do both, but switching is time consuming. It takes a while to get back into the whichever one you were in if you switch to the other.
That's so true. Have you ever heard of Paul Graham's essay on maker schedule and manager schedule?
No.
It's so good. It's been around for probably 20 years, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And I keep sending this to so many people. So he's like, Paul Graham is the founder of Y Combinator. It's a big investment platform company in the States, and they keep putting money into startups. So they are angel investors who help startups grow. I think they put money into the early Google founders and PayPal and who else. And so they boosted a bunch of really now very large companies. And so Paul Graham, he wrote this essay. It's a short little read. Maybe it takes you 5 to 10 minutes to read it. And he says what he has identified and what they are using in Y Combinator in their company is maker days and manager days. And they have seen the discrepancy between the people and the non-people time, or rather the manager, they chop their days into 1 hour blocks, one meeting, one networking event, 1 hour, 1 hour. The makers, the coders, the creative writers, anybody who works with the more, you got to go really into the zone and get your things done. Accountant time.
Yeah.
They need at least 3 hours of uninterrupted time. And if you have a maker, let's say a computer coder or a writer, content writer, and you plan in a meeting at 11 in the morning, the whole day is hijacked.
Yes, absolutely.
You feel that?
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
And with the sort of manager type days in that, it's easy to keep going, to have a meeting, have that finish, have a coffee, fix your makeup, go to the next meeting, like to keep that going. Whereas if you are deep into something and then you step out and have a meeting, it's so hard to slide back into the deep, like, where was I? What was I thinking about?
Yeah.
What's going on here? You go back to your computer tabs and go, this makes no sense.
Yes, the whole train of thought needs to be like retrieved and rewoven and all that.
Yeah. Oh, send me that essay. I would love to read it.
Because you do it, like, intuitively, you do the exact thing. You you do the even full days of just manager schedule, hour.
Yeah.
Or maker schedule. A whole afternoon is blocked just for this. Or a whole morning is just blocked. Yeah, and I feel it's so useful when people know, hey, she's Wednesday and Thursday are her maker days. Do not interrupt her, but every Friday, you can just, have open office or, open hours or whatever you call it. So when I learned about this for the first time, it was a, revelation,
Yeah.
I did no longer feel that my brain was broken.
Ah, that's
I was
very
like,
cool.
oh, it just needs different environments. One day it wants to be chatty and all the meetings can happen. And one day it needs to just sit there and not put on blazer and makeup and just like hunker down and do creative writing and smash out 6 blog posts.
Yeah, active wearing a hoodie and you're like, okay, no, we're not seeing people today.
Yes, and since then I'm like, oh, it's so much better. And I learned also, if I have to have a meeting, an appointment, anything on my maker day that I planned, because like you said, you plan and life has other ideas.
Yeah.
Then I learned it's best if I either get it out the way earliest, like at the start of the day, or I bundle those 1 or 2 meetings that might come up at the very end. So I can just create, and then set an alarm and like, 6:30, I've got a call, like.
Yep, and then sort of shake it off and go and do the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something I found that really works. Yeah, so
cool.
Really cool. Because I was like, this is the best definition ever when it comes to my ideal work environment. You wrote a clear definition of people time and non-people time, or as Paul Graham would say, makers and managers. So
that's probably a nicer way to put it. Sorry, that's my non-people day.
You
can't
makers
talk to me.
are non-people. Yeah, but no external influences.
Yeah.
Or chatter. Yeah.
Yep. Shut the door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eat your chocolates in peace.
Don't
so
tell
good.
people.
Yeah. Beautiful. If you had a magic wand and you could call in any collaborators, clients, co-runners, and blister talkers, who would you make a little outcall or outreach for?
Definitely Sam Harvey, who did that epic backyard ultra, didn't win, and I was heartbroken for him the other day. Him and an Australian broke the world record for the backyard ultras.
Right. What is the backyard ultra?
It is. And now this is going to sound like madness to you, because it is madness, but it's a kind of a running race where you run 6.7 kilometers and then you stop, and then an hour from when you started, a bell rings and you run 6.7 kilometers again. And so, yeah, exactly. And so someone wins and everyone else did not finish.
It gets until it stops. Oh, there's no like 100 Ks and we're finishing. No, you could go as long as it goes.
Yeah, these guys went for like 5 days.
That's insane.
It is insane. You're gonna think
I love that.
Crazy.
I love the achievement. I wouldn't want to do it, but that is insane in the best possible way.
Yeah. So it'd be really cool to talk to him about that and how, because most people quit. So you run your 6.7 Ks, right? And usually people do it in like 40 minutes, and then they've got 20 minutes to have a break, have a sit down, have something to eat.
But in those 5 days, when did they sleep?
In those little 20 minutes is
run.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah, so you can do like a fast lap and then maybe have half an hour to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're nutty by the end of it. But most people quit when they're sitting down, so they quit once they've finished running, and they sit down, they have something to eat, they're like, I'm not doing another lap.
Yeah.
He quit halfway through, like his body quit on him halfway through a lap.
So his mind was so strong.
Yeah, the mental strength of like, I'm still doing this.
Yeah.
That's really cool, I think. Nutty, but cool.
So his name is Sam Harvey.
Yeah.
If you could say anything to Sam, speak to him directly.
Good job. That was epic. That was crazy, but epic. I loved it.
And now your call to action, call her. You're counting through her. Go for a run with her.
Show me what kind of socks you wear.
Sam, show me your socks. That's going to be the title for your episode. Meet Tsarina. She wants to see Sam's socks. Amazing. I also know that you have your own office, you have your own employee, and so what are the kind of clients that you serve, the people you love to work with and for?
Oh, I love to work with people who care and want to, they want my advice, if that makes sense. They're not just here to be like, how much tax do I need to pay and when do I need to pay it? Like, that's fine, but the robots will do that. Yeah, I want to talk to people who are like, how can I make my business better? What can I do to achieve my goals?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they do. People do crazy things. I met a lady the other day. She's not a client, but she's a poet.
Yeah.
That is her job.
Yeah.
So just people who do cool stuff and are interested in doing that cool stuff better, or running it in a better way that helps their life run smoothly, I guess.
Yeah. I like that you use the word running for all those things.
Yeah.
It's your passion too. Awesome. Yeah. So we are calling in people for you who also share your goals, your sustainable development goals, quality education, gender equality, so much goodness.
Yeah, I need more epic lady clients. Because I had a women's brunch that I am part of running, Better Business Brunch, and I went, I'll just go and email all my female clients to see if they want to come along. And then I looked at it and I was like, I don't have enough of them. I have lots of awesome tradie clients, but mainly they're men. And I'm like, well, we need to balance this up a little bit. So that's my goal for the next little while, to get a balanced split of clients across my client book. So I can invite them to cool brunches and cool financial education things.
Beautiful. So to have it purely equal by Christmas, I'll check in with you and say, is 50% of your client base she, her?
Ooh, not by Christmas. I can't take on the.
I didn't say which year.
Okay, good.
My background is in law. I know the loopholes.
Yeah, okay, good.
Didn't say the year. And the rest, like you said, more and more of the tasks will be taken over by robots, so you can really focus. Oh, sorry, microphone people. You can really focus on the human. Empowerment, uplifting, educating, all that stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's more fun for the clients to work with me if they're interested in that. I have some clients who are like a bit scared of going to see the accountant because it's very serious and very, and I sort of don't want that for them. I want to make it easy and relaxed and comfortable and not sort of scare them with numbers and bits of paper, just chat about how it looks and how that might feel in their life. So then they can understand that the numbers actually do have a relevance to them. They're not just something separate. So clients like that as well.
I love how your logical brain that helps you so much with the structure and the money and the planning and all these, accountant-related tasks, and yet you are able to completely switch over and translate it for your clients into emotions and feelings, and the money just stands for something that they want to feel or experience or
Yes,
achieve.
absolutely. Money's not real. We just all pretend it is.
We just have numbers and papers and things.
It's not. You can't eat it. It's not worth anything at the end of the day. So it's just like a token for what it stores energy. If that makes sense. It's things that you've done. You've stored it as money, and now you can go and do other things or make other changes in your life.
That's such a cool, explainer, or I can't even. My mind is blown. This was such a good conversation. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you.
Is there any final, call out, shout out that you want to say to people who are watching this?
Oh, become accountants, everyone. It's fabulous.
Yes.
And, follow your dreams, spend money on things that bring you joy. That's all.
Yeah. Just don't fritter it away.
Don't fritter it, yes.
Thank you so much, Tsarina.
Cheers, thank you.